Time now for US News with the Queen of American showbiz, royal and political reporting, Kinsey Schofield. Hey, Kinsey.
Hi, Mark. Good to hear your voice. Good to see you.
Great to have you back on. Prince William, the Prince of Wales, gets help from a top diplomat, given that he's deputising for his father.
Yeah, new hires for the Wales crew. It's exciting. Prince William, he's appointed a former government diplomat as his private secretary. Ian Patrick also worked for former Liberal Democrat leader Lord Paddy Ashdown. But other than that, I know very little about him, so I'm excited to learn more about Mr. Ian Patrick, Mark.
Well, definitely. I mean, what we know is that William's got a lot on his plate at the moment, Kinsey. His wife is recovering from a serious abdominal procedure in hospital. His father is recovering and receiving treatment for cancer. And of course, you know, he's got 3 children as well with his lovely wife. How do you think he's going to get the balance between caring for his wife and pretty much being deputy king?
I think he's going to nail it. I think that he would push back on that, that description. We know that King Charles is very engaged. He's on Twitter today. So he's on X today. So we do know that the king is very still much engaged, seeing those beautiful red boxes on a regular basis, having, meetings with Rishi Sunak whenever he can, even if it's just over Zoom or digitally. But the king wants us to know that he's still very much around. I think that he's just been advised to, and perhaps it's because the treatment he's seeking, well, it can sometimes make you vulnerable to sometimes even a common cold. So perhaps he's been told not to engage with a lot of strangers because his immune system might be a little bit weakened by what's going on. But the king still very much there. Prince William, a lot of new pressure on his shoulders, but I think he's going to nail it. As a young child, this was a baby that had an understanding of what was to come. You listen to Paul Burrell, our friend, or Ken Worf, also our friend, talk about when he was little, just how worried he was about becoming king one day. He's had plenty of time to mentally prepare for this. And I look forward to seeing much more of him because he was born for this role. He was made for this job.
Meanwhile, Queen Camilla had to dash to see Charles. Tell me more.
Well, no, this is actually, first of all, I wanted to say I pitched 2 stories to you today. One was Taylor Swift, going through a bunch of different time zones to get to Travis Kelce. Oh, sorry. But to get to Travis Kelce at the Super Bowl. But then, and we've got Camilla too. I've never thought I'd see Camilla and Taylor Swift in the same category. But this is an excellent example of Queen Camilla's discipline and dedication to not just the crown, but her husband, who is recently diagnosed with cancer, as we know. Due to poor weather conditions on Thursday, Queen Camilla's helicopter was grounded. And instead of canceling an appearance she had at a charity concert, Mark, she opted to get in a car and drive 6 hours from Sandringham. So because she wanted to be there. She wanted to make sure that everybody that was expecting her would see her. So she drives out there, and then it was like breaking news at the time because she was so sweet and engaging with everyone, talked about how the king was doing well, but also said how much he really appreciated all the positive feedback and kindness he's received, which again, we just heard today over Twitter, that it really must be touching his heart so deeply that people are writing him and reaching out to him about this cancer diagnosis.
Well, definitely, and that story about Queen Camilla shows what a devoted wife she is and what a no-nonsense queen she's turning out to be. I'm a big fan, I've got to say. Good news for Prince Harry this week. He has settled with the Mirror Group over phone hacking allegations, but his war with Piers Morgan intensifies.
I mean, will it ever end? Yeah, that's right. The publishers are expecting to pay Prince Harry's legal fees plus £300 in damages. So I do expect that to be a pretty big lump sum. The settlement is related to claims of unlawful intrusion on 115 stories. And this was a 4-year battle between the prince and publisher. These stories were as old as 1996. I met NSYNC in 1988, if that gives you any idea, between 1996 and 2010. And Harry's attorney, once everything was settled, spoke to the media, and he accused Piers Morgan of knowing everything that was going on with his reporters behind the scenes. And then Piers, in classic Piers form, comes out and says, I totally agree with Prince Harry that ruthless intrusion into private lives of the royal family for not financial gain is utterly reprehensible, and I hope he stops doing it.
Brilliant stuff. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift sweeps the board at the Grammys. Enjoy the Super Bowl, Kinsey, and we'll catch up next week.
Thank you, sir. Talk to you soon.
The fabulous Kinsey Schofield. Check out her brilliant podcast, To Die For Daily.